We always popping. Um, I'll break down my trade today. For me, everything starts on the weekly. So as we see, we're quite bullish on the weekly, but we run this monthly slash weekly high. It is a monthly high, monthly swing point here, and also a weekly high as we have that kind of SMT at the high, at the formation of the high. So this is also a weekly high. So we run our weekly target for me, and we can see that Dow Jones is much lower. So we could be closing SMT, which again, long term could make sense. We want to come back for this 1800 and potentially close a monthly SMT to then, see a big retracement. But yeah, so that's kind of my weekly. So today I was uh anticipating bullish or bearishness on the weekly as we could reject this high if we're going to close SMT. So I'll use the daily phase of price to um, give me confirmation of what I'm anticipating from this day in the week. So we're still daily S&T here with this high. And today we opened up and we have pretty small daily range. So for me, that leads me to believe that we could be bearish, especially if the 4 hour um, supports that. So I'm looking at the 4 hour, and we have 4 hour SMT, so 4 hour reversal phase. So already that's pretty nice. We got a C2C. We have fair value gaps, internal liquidity. We could see this low being run on YM. So anyway, I was anticipating bearish on the 4 hour, which then supports my daily. So now I'd like to see 1 hour support that through phase of price. So 1 hour, we're in bearish order flow. So that's really positive. So that supports my 4 hour bias of coming lower. At 8 a.m., we have a C2C. So that's 6 a.m. C2C, a C3 really sloppy. So initially at 8 a.m., I was looking for not a run of this high, not to make this C2C, but just to expand lower, which that didn't occur. I would want to see 15-minute phase of price line up. It didn't do that. Instead, we formed um, a C2C. So then I was looking for price to expand in 9 o'clock, which could either come of a C3 expansion or a run for a C2C and then come lower for an expansion. So I want to see 15-minute phase of price support 1 hour lower, and I want um, to either, if we run this high, which we did, then I'd be looking for a 5-minute entry. If we didn't run and 15-minute form to C2C before running this high on majority, then I'd be looking for a 1-minute entry. But in this case, we did run the high here. So I was looking for a 5-minute entry just to show you that the 15-minute was supported. We do have this SMT here. Um, which is reversal phase as we did shift order flow. So our 15-minute order flow was down here. Um, so yeah, so anyway, it's all supported. So now I'm looking for a 5-minute change in state of delivery. Now where it gets interesting is that we have this hourly open. Let me just make it a bit bigger for you. And at 9:20, we change in state of delivery on YM. I'm anticipating NASDAQ to be the leader as on the 4 hour or that higher high. So there's a lower high SMT or that higher high SMT counter order flow reversal phase. This should be the stronger, the faster pair as it should catch up to the weaker pair. So I'm anticipating NASDAQ to be the leader. So then I dropped to the 5-minute for my entry. Oh yeah, this is what was interesting is that we did enter like change state of delivery at 9:20 and we didn't on the NASDAQ. we did on ES. So for me, this already is a fishy element in price, as this should be the leader. This should change state of delivery first. So in order for me to feel confident in my entry, I need to see a new intercandle change of state of delivery level. As we see 925, we do run higher, forming that level. And we did close bullish here, which was really positive. So once we see that lower candle, that change in state of delivery, I took an entry on the retest here. And yeah, was anticipating lower prices. I did have interesting kind of management aspects where I made some mistakes where I didn't fully trust this hourly expansion candle to reach my 2 to 1. So um, back down on this expansion, I did take a partial at the 2 or around the 2 uh, for a 1 to 1. And then because I took a 1 to 1, I put my next take profit down to this 4, which I think was a mistake because after we close here on 9:55, so this 10 a.m. candle open, it's a new phase of price. So we should see pretty deep retracement before we see expansion lower. And my stop loss was at break even. So I did get stopped at break even and I took a partial um, at that 1 to 1. So in the future, I'll just trust my hourly candle, especially since on the 1 hour, I'm anticipating this liquidity to get run here because I'm anticipating this and its counter order flow. If we are to just run this liquidity and reverse, which is possible to continue, it's unlikely, but is possible. If we are to do an SMT and reversal here, we're likely to see two pairs run lower, like majority reach, and one pair stay higher. And we reached at 9:35. You see how far ES is away. So for me, in the future, I'll be much more trusting that we'll see majority and we'll see that expansion lower, and I can hold for this full expansion candle, looking for that 2 to 1. So um, anyway, yeah. So I executed in this candle. And then, yeah, I took profit in this candle, which is hilarious because that's that big expansion. But whatever, And then I got stopped out, break even on this candle. Um, yeah, part of the game shows where my skills at in relationship to psychology and management. But today I felt really good about um, moving forward in the next trade. So anyway, that's my trade. Peace.